After more than 2 decades of rule by one man, Zain El Abidine Ben Ali, Tunisia is now a country in chaos. Massive protests over government corruption, political repression, rising food prices, and unemployment forced President Ben Ali to flee Tunisia yesterday.
Essentially, the military took matters into its own hands and drove him from the country.
Anger in this North African country of 10.5 million people has been boiling for weeks. A 2008 State Department cable made public last month by WikiLeaks said the Ben Ali family was the nexus of Tunisian corruption and a quasi-mafia. Tunisia's crisis sent hordes of European tourists rushing to the airport. And on the streets of France, Belgium, and Germany, thousands of Tunisian immigrants marched in support of regime change. In Egypt, where Hosni Mubarak has ruled for nearly 30 years, some citizens were emboldened to voice similar views. Every country in this situation should speak up, this man says. We need change. But experts say predictions of revolutionary change across the Arab world are premature.
You can't say for certain that what happened in Tunisia is likely to happen in other places.
Just this week, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton called on Arab regimes to offer a more positive vision for their people, while President Obama applauded the courage and dignity of the Tunisian people and called for free elections there. In Tunisia, the prime minister briefly took over as president, but under pressure quickly abandoned the post. Today, Tunisia's parliament speaker was sworn in as interim president.
Nobody would have predicted after 23 years of rule in a country that has a reputation for being one of the worst police states in the region, that people power would be able to drive the dictator from office.
People power making history. Elaine Quijano, CBS News, New York.
For a first-hand account of the fast-moving developments in Tunisia, we're joined on the phone by New York Times Cairo Bureau Chief David Kirkpatrick, who's in Tunis tonight. Good evening, David.
Good evening to you.
Well, set the scene for us. What are you seeing out on the streets of the capital tonight?
Well, now it's dark here, and it's been, frankly, a frightening day. This morning, there was a new presence on the street, large numbers of young men, newly deputized with police vests, but otherwise in plain clothes, and carrying guns and clubs. And though nominally police, they were frankly a little intimidating. I think most people wisely stayed off the streets for fear of the police. There were tanks in evidence around downtown, frequent gunfire. From my hotel room where I was working this afternoon about 3:45, I heard a particularly loud burst of gunfire, ran to the window, saw tear gas rising up once again from the main boulevard here, and I was able to see some rooftop snipers aiming down at the pedestrians below. Snipers have been a particularly terrifying aspect of the Tunisian government's response to the recent wave of protests. A lot of the protesters themselves can't believe it because it's like killing your own citizens in cold blood.
Well, let's talk about the current interim president and announced this creation of a new unity government. Do you think this will help in the protests?
That's a good question. I haven't heard any credible talk yet about a unity government. The new interim president, who is the Speaker of the Parliament, has said he's going to hold elections in the next 60 days. If he does hold free and fair elections, that will be a first for Tunisia and probably for the region. And how all that's going to unfold, I think, remains to be seen.
Well, David Kirkpatrick, thanks for putting it into context, and stay safe.
All right, thanks very much.